gather round, all you corpses, ghouls, and fiends. You're in for quite a treat. It's the most terrifying time of the week. It's time for the Cryptic Creepshow with your hosts,
Mary Mortem.
and the very morbid Marcus. Hey, you guys, welcome to the Cryptic Creepshow.
Hey, guys.
I am the morbid Marcus, and we have...
Mary Mortem.
And we couldn't get any guests in here today, so Eddie's sitting in a garden.
Welcome back, Eddie. We're glad to have you, seeing as how nobody wanted to be guests on our show.
Just not cool enough. Well, it is Valentine's weekend, so we're going to be discussing romance, love, everything that has to do with Valentine's in horror and the horror culture. So, Mary's got some strange little facts about Valentine's Day, kind of the backstory of the holiday itself. Mary.
Okay, so first I'm going to tell y'all two versions of Valentine's Day, why we celebrate this holiday. And like I told the wonderful cashier at the grocery store yesterday, it's really a Catholic holiday, and we just tagged onto it because hearts and candy and shit.
It's what? Meaning it's a Catholic holiday. What's
it's a Catholic holiday because Saint Valentine was Catholic, or Saint Valentinus, or whatever in the hell his name was.
Gotcha.
So here's the story of Valentine's Day. There was a saint by the name of Saint Valentine, or Valentinus, because he was in Rome. And the Roman emperor at the time, Claudius, banned all marriages and engagements in Rome because he wanted to send all the men out to war, and in some cases women, and a lot of the times they were reluctant to go because they had a family. So he just straight up banned all marriages. He's like, fuck this, you're going to go to war, so you can no longer marry. So Saint Valentine, being a rebel and being a man of God, decided that wasn't okay, so he started performing marriages in secret, and he ended up getting beheaded for it, and he was beheaded on February 14th. I'm trying to find the year right now.
February 14th, beheaded.
So he was declared a saint by the Catholic Church. So that's why I'm saying it's a Catholic holiday.
Gotcha.
He was a Catholic saint. There's another story. This one I saw back in high school on a greeting card. So it really makes me question the legitimacy of this version of the story. So this one goes... The story of Valentine's Day begins in the 3rd century with an oppressive Roman Empire and a humble Christian martyr. The emperor was Claudius II. The Christian was Valentinus. Claudius had ordered all Romans to worship 12 gods and had made it a crime punishable by death to associate with Christians. But Valentinus was dedicated to the ideals of Christ. Not even the threat of death could keep him from practicing his beliefs. He was arrested and imprisoned. Right there, I'm going to call bullshit, because in every religion, regardless of what religion it is, they always are some sort of prosecuted for no good reason.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to make you worship what I want to worship, and if you're Christian, you're going to jail. I highly doubt that's what happened. I'm pretty sure Rome had a million other things that they needed to do besides worrying about Christians.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I'm going to call bullshit right there. But anyway, during the last week of Valentinus' life, a remarkable thing happened. Call bullshit number 2. Seeing that he was a man of learning, not educated. He's a man of learning. The jailer asked whether his daughter Julia might be brought to Valentinus for lessons. Bullshit number 3. Oh, you're in prison, but you seem like a jolly old chap that's educated. I'm just going to send my unwed young daughter to come hang out with you in hopes that you'll educate her being a learned man.
Oh, man. So when did we officially start putting on the whole persona of, here's your chocolates, your roses, your this, your that?
I think just kind of like Easter and Christmas, that just got tacked on throughout the years. But with this person, Julia, apparently she was blind. She was like, does God really exist? Does he really answer our prayers? Valentinus did what any Catholic priest would do. Oh, yes, my child, he does. she grasps his hand, and all of a sudden she can see she's cured. It's a miracle. And so the night before he died, he left her a note, and he signed it from Your Valentine. So that's supposedly
We're
why
Valentine's
we have
cards.
why we have our Valentine's cards, why we have our beautiful little, oh, it's a day of love and friendship and everything. No, it's about this guy who got whacked for performing marriages.
That sounds like a Hallmark made up story. Like, let's sell more cards.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, because the first story was from the History Channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put more credence
into the History Channel than you are into this second story.
So there's two other things that I found about Valentine's Day which were interesting and creepy. Not that beheading a Catholic saint isn't creepy enough. Because that's amazing. And in fact, I think, I don't know how, there's a couple of people already that know this, but I have my own little shop, and I think I'm going to start selling, like, beheading necklaces for Valentine's Day, because that's really why.
There you go. Yeah,
like, I think
I'll
just get some Barbie heads or something and just put them on chains. It will be awesome. Patent pending, so don't steal my idea, people.
You probably shouldn't have put it out there. You're going to go on there now. It's going to be on the internet already. Your idea is stolen.
Just kidding. I'm sure there's other people that have done the same thing. So there's also speculation that Valentine's traces its roots to a pagan ritual, or I'm going to use the word pagan loosely, to Lupercalia, which is an ancient, possible pre-Roman pastoral festival observed on February 13th through the 15th to avert evil spirits and purify the city, releasing health and fertility. I also read somewhere that apparently pagan chicks would gather up young men
and do what?
Sacrifice them to increase their fertility, and they would like strip them naked and sacrifice them.
Wow! So if
I'm
you're
totally
a young
down
man,
for that
get the
for Valentine's Day.
Jesus! Let's get out of here, Eddie.
I said young men. Just kidding.
Hey, I'm still semi-young. Eddie, you're
kidding.
screwed. You're in your 30s. You're an old man now.
And then another thing that I found that I thought was really cool that I had heard of before is that there is actually a legitimate massacre that occurred on Valentine's Day. So the St. Valentine's Day Massacre is the name given to a 1929 murder of 7 mob associates and a mechanic of the North Side Irish gang led by Bugs Moran during the Prohibition era. It resulted from a struggle between the Irish-American gang and the South Side Italian gang led by Al Capone to take control of organized crime in Chicago. Because, Irish and Italians have to fight. Yeah, and what better way than a Catholic holiday? Because, they're Irish and Italian. They have to fight on a Catholic holiday.
Let's just pick that day.
So, former members of the Ignan's Rat Gang were also subject of having played a significant role in the incident, assisting Capone. So, I'm trying to find the reason why. So, the massacre was allegedly planned by organization led by Al Capone to eliminate George Bugs Moran, the boss of the long-established Northside Gang. The former boss of Northside Gang, Dion O'Banion, was murdered by 4 gunmen in his flower shop on North State Street in 1924. After the murders of O'Banion, each successive leader of the Northsiders was also killed, allegedly by various members or associates of the Capone organization.
I swear this is a movie.
I think it is. I think that's probably where they got a lot of ideas for like Valentine's Massacre movies is because of this actual event that happened. Not having read through this, I actually read this a few years ago, but I can't remember the whole story, and I don't want to take time to read it now. But I think it was basically 2 gangs fighting over supplying liquor for people who were under prohibition.
Yeah.
And it happened on St. Valentine's Day. So there definitely is gore in the history.
Involved in the history of Valentine's.
So that's our subject today. It's a bloody Valentine's.
Well, with that, do we want to jump into some horrific Valentine-ish movies, or do we got anything else on Valentine's?
That's all I could really find that was legitimate. Like, I found a lot of stupid facts, like men don't pre-plan Valentine's Day. Everybody knows that. And just other stupid stuff. So those are the only legitimate ones that trace its origins back to horror. Definitely. Or morbid stuff.
Morbid stuff. Well, actually, before we continue on this Valentine's Day, do we got anything recent in the horror community? Any news? Anything coming up?
There's actually a new thing going on with kind of like an Expendables action movie for horror called Death House.
Death House. Educate me, Eddie. What's this Death House about?
Yeah, actually, the script was written by Gunnar Hansen that played Leatherface, which is kind of interesting.
The late Gunnar Hansen.
Yep. And so the horror icons they have so far is Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, Danny Trejo, Dee Wallace, Bill Moseley.
Wow.
That's a great cast.
That's a huge...
Quite a few people, quite a few legends, too.
So is it going to be like these guys are all going to go out and conquer the world but not save it, kill everyone, and rip them apart?
They haven't put much details on it.
Got you. It's kind of like an idea in the works. So in 2033, it will be released. You know, that's how long it took for fucking Freddy vs. Jason when that idea came out.
Apparently, they conceived that idea after the first movie, or the first or second movie. There was talks at New Line Cinema about doing a crossover that early on, because the fans wanted to see it. They wanted to see a brawl between the two.
And see, and before Gunnar Hansen passed away, he wasn't actually be part of it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. We've lost a lot of horror legends.
Yeah, we have.
And we've had some birthdays recently too. I believe Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci had a birthday.
And she played
recently.
The famous character Wednesday from
from the Addams Family, the movies.
Yeah.
And then she also was Lizzie Borden in the new series that released, I think, in 2015 or 2014 about her. I can't remember.
Is that the Lizzie Borden took an axe?
Yeah, that's what it's called. I'm like, I know it's not the story of Lizzie Borden. It's something stupid. So yeah, Lizzie Borden took an axe. She starred in that as well.
Gotcha.
So that was her birthday. In other news, Bauhaus's Peter Murphy and Skinny Puppy's Nivek Orger to star in a horror film.
Really?
Yes, which I think is pretty amazing. Trying to find the... Let's see here. So they will star in the forthcoming horror film Black Glove Killer by the Canadian composer, Fangora editor, film director Chris Alexander. So there isn't a whole lot in this article about
plot details
the
or
type
anything.
of movie it is, but they will be in the movie together. And they've also both appeared in other movies. For example, Ogre was in Repo the Genetic Opera. And
that's an interesting one.
Peter Murphy was in The Hunger. The Hunger also starred David Bowie, which I found out much too late after he had already passed away. I knew he was an actor, and I had seen him in like The Prestige and a couple other movies, but I didn't know he was actually in a horror
Was he
movie.
in Labyrinth?
Yeah, he was the Goblin King.
Yeah, he's the big bad guy or whatever.
He was the Goblin King, and it was amazing, and he was beautiful. So don't you don't you dare talk down about the Goblin King.
I'm not talking down. I've never seen the movie. I just know
What do you mean you've never, Marcus?
You know what? I can play the same damn card with you.
Never seen. Get out of the studio. Never seen. You've probably never seen The Dark Crystal either.
Oh yes, I have. That movie's creepy.
How can you have seen The Dark?
I don't know. She's
Dark
giving me this
Crystals.
look right
Whatever,
now
man.
of like
Whatever.
disbelief.
I don't think it's disbelief so much as murderous rage.
Oh God!
for the
Well,
fact
if that's
that
your
you've
murderous
seen The Dark
rage,
Crystal and you haven't seen Labyrinth.
I'm sorry. What can I say? You know.
I don't think you are though. I really don't think you're sorry.
Well.
That's his defense. Well.
And I guess another thing in the horror news community, John Carpenter is releasing The Lost Themes 2 here pretty soon.
Awesome.
If you haven't listened to The Lost Themes #1 that he put out, it's epic. He basically, him and his sons composed a bunch of theme music that was never on any of his movies, but it's just a great listen. And I'm excited for this new one to be released. And he's actually doing a tour. Sadly, he's not coming to Salt Lake City, Utah, but he's performing all these. I think the closest he's coming here would be like Los Angeles. So that sucks for us.
He might come to Vegas. It depends on if there's some sort of event going on in Vegas.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's pretty much the stuff in horror news right now. We do have upcoming The Witch. We've talked about it a couple times.
We did. It comes out.
It releases next Friday.
Yes, on the 19th. I most certainly will be seeing it because I'm looking forward to it.
Have you guys watched the latest trailer on that?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it looks amazing.
Definitely. It looks like it's one of those movies kind of going almost like a Conjuring feel. Real dark, real eerie.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a Conjuring feel.
You
Because
don't?
I think Conjuring is more like ghost invest. I don't know if I can put into words.
I wouldn't say. I'm not
My-
saying like it's like The Conjuring. Just the feel of the movie.
No, I
like
understand
how
what you're
dark
saying. Like
it is.
it's dark and eerie and stuff like that.
I think it's going to be one of those. So we have so many like paranormal, witch, all these movies released because it's a big popular thing now. But I think it's really, really, really going serious, and it looks like they've composed the movie very well, to where I don't know. It's not. It doesn't look like a letdown to me. Like when I seen the Conjuring's preview, I was like, wow, this actually looks pretty badass, and that's how this one is.
Yeah.
So there's two. I'm trying to think. So I separate any paranormal movies or ghost movies. I kind of separate into two halves.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being like a verse against evil in like a paranormal form, and then just getting consumed or like stalked or hunted by evil.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Like, and so I would put the witch in the latter category and not the former.
Stalked.
For example, okay, so Blair Witch Project. That's what I say when I'm saying they're getting stalked. They don't ever battle the witch. They don't ever see the witch. They all fucking die.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have something like A Haunting in Connecticut or
Oh.
The Conjuring or Annabelle. They actually face the entity that is haunting them, and
Straight
they
on.
kick its ass, and they, you know, the story ends with somebody surviving. So that's why I'm saying, like, there's two, when I think of those type of movies with like ghosts and paranormal and witches, because they all get lumped into one same fucking category in terms of horror genre.
Well,
But I separate them into those two categories. And the witch feels more like they're just going to get fucked up in this movie. Like, there is going to be no battle. It's just going to be a bunch of serious shit that happens because of a goddamn witch. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I think that's what's going to make it a good movie.
Oh, wow. Well,
So,
did you guys see the preview for The Purge 3 election year?
Yeah, looks awesome.
I did not watch the preview, but I have no interest in those movies.
Really?
No, I never saw them because I just don't like the concept behind them. People just going out and killing because they can. It's like a different type of slasher, and I don't feel comfortable with the idea behind it.
So you should watch it, though, because that's...
Maybe. But I don't watch I Spit on Your Grave or...
Well, it doesn't...
like,
it's
Last
nothing...
House on the Left.
I know
No,
reasons why you
I
don't watch
know,
those movies in
so I don't
particular, but
watch
you're saying to me...
No, what I'm saying is, like, I don't like watching movies where it's just, like, people knowing that they're doing wrong for the sole fact of doing something wrong. Does that make sense?
But this witch can fuck everybody up.
If it has more of a real life aspect to it, and that makes me
And you don't like
uncomfortable.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like my horror to be...
Very
Like, I like to be
mystical
safe
and...
in my horror that I see.
Well, I thought the election year actually looks really
Yeah, it
cool,
looks really
and
good.
they're playing off the election year
Yeah,
this
they
year.
definitely are.
Go Bernie! This isn't a political channel, but go
Yes.
Bernie!
I am also a Bernie backer.
We're gonna lose a couple viewers. They're like, screw these liberal idiots.
I would hope that people who aren't liberal are not listening to our show, because I don't think they'd get entertainment
Oh,
out of it.
I don't think so either. They'd be like, oh, this is garbage. So let's jump into it then, guys. Horror movies that revolve around Valentine's Day. And, I mean, we got one that is simply titled My Bloody Valentine.
There's actually two.
Very
that's the
true,
same-
because you got the remake.
1981, and then you got the 2009.
The 2009 remake of it.
Now, you two just barely watched those recently, right?
Yeah, I had
I
never...
didn't watch it recently.
I watched it recently. I watched it last night and this morning.
Okay.
The two versions. Reason being is because I had never seen either of them
Gotcha.
all the way through. And so I watched both of them, and
What did you think?
I liked the original one. There's so much I want to say about this. I kind of want you guys to fill in first, because there's so much I want to say about it. So the 1981 version was good. I personally, I work in a job where I talk to people on the phone, and so I can hear, based on your dialect and how you speak and your accent, I can kind of tell where you're from. And Canadian accents, especially those from Nova Scotia and like the east side of Canada, I especially pick up on. So I have a bit of a challenge watching the movie solely for that fact. Same thing happens when I watch Trailer Park Boys. Like there's some things they say and I'm just like, you're so Canadian and I can hear it. Like when they say car and a boot and all
now,
those
are you
type of
saying, because
things.
where is My Bloody Valentine?
It's set in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Okay, is it?
Yeah, and I always, like, when I started watching it and they were doing their dialogue back and forth, I'm like, was this filmed in Canada? And I, like, Googled it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is based in Canada. But I liked that the kills in both versions are amazing. If you haven't seen the movies, you should see them solely for the kills.
Yeah.
Because they take it as, I think they push the envelope with the slasher genre in that the kills are a lot more inventive and a lot more gory.
He reminds me of Jason Voorhees in the way he does things.
Okay, so here's the thing about Voorhees. So My Bloody Valentine, the guy who gets trapped in the mine, like he has there's two things that are reminiscent. The one is Michael Myers, because he's coming back on Valentine's Day, such as Michael Myers came back on Halloween, and he is up for vengeance, because just like Michael Myers is. But he's going after vengeance because he got trapped in the mine because of people being careless, just like Jason Voorhees drowned because people were careless. So I kind of feel like it was Canada's answer to Jason and Halloween.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
They tried to make it as different and as unique as possible, so they went the mining town route. And they tried to do too much with it too, I think. Like, for example, there's obviously spoilers on this show, guys, so don't be all pissed off at us if you haven't seen these movies and then you're like, why are you talking about it? But there was they were trying to do too much with it in terms of, like, they did the backstory for the reason why the guy killed everybody is because he got trapped in the mine. And then when we find out who the real killer is, they do a mini flashback. They don't even do an actual story or a scene. They just do a flashback.
Now, are you talking about original or remake?
I'm talking about the original still. So 1981. We go to the end and we just get a flashback of why the new killer is killing people.
Yeah.
And it wraps back around to, like, the original story. But I'm like, you can't do that. You need to pick one or the other. You can't do this in a horror movie. So I think they tried to do way too much. The kills were really good, and the Valentine's, how he would put the hearts in the Valentine box was really good.
Now it's interesting because you're talking about the original being very, very good on its kills, very original, very gory, and this movie is infamous for having 9 minutes cut by the MPAA due to the amount of violence and gore. Now, 9 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but when you actually think about it, 9 minutes from a movie, which is probably from death scenes, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's probably about 2 extra kills that we could have seen.
But they just said, nope, if you want a rated R rating.
You know what I think they cut out was the part where the guy's a ginger, and his girlfriend's impaled on the shower head. I was so upset that they didn't show that, especially since every other death prior to then, you saw in detail what happened to the people. And then we get to that scene, and he is just pushing her, like he's just lifting her up towards the shower, and then the next one you see the ginger freaking out and the side of her face, and I'm like, she got impaled on the shower head and we don't get to see that? So I bet you anything that's where the 9 minutes were cut.
It could.
Because that's the only death in the movie that we don't see what happens.
We'll have to look for the actual, like, I'm sure with how they release movies today, 500 bazillion versions of them, Eddie would know. They probably have a My Bloody Valentine, director's cut, all the stuff added back in. What was your initial thoughts on the original My Bloody Valentine, Eddie?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just overall a great slasher film.
Really?
The story, the plot.
Now, I can't say much on the original because I have not seen it.
What?
Nope, I've just seen the remake.
You need to... Oh, the remake is... Okay, first of all, the remake is trash.
And here's one thing that I hate about the remake. I enjoyed some aspects of the remake, but it was made when that 3D craze was going on.
Right.
So everything's got to have that 3D feel and look to it. Oh, he's throwing his
Yeah,
pickaxe and it's coming through the
pickaxe will hit
TV.
you.
You know, and I'm not a fan of those types of movies
Me either.
because I think it takes away from actual story and thoughtful processes
Well,
to
because
let's
they
just have
have
this
to-
thing jump through the TV at
Well, they
them.
have to think out and like, okay, we need 3D here, 3D here, 3D here, and it just ends up ruining movies when you add 3D.
I think it depends for a horror. Okay, for a horror movie for a slasher movie, it doesn't work because they did the same thing with Freddy way back in like Freddy's Dead. What was that in '96? Like when the hell did that movie come out? I gotta look this up.
Mid 90s.
I'm thinking it was '96. I'm pretty sure. But
For
it
what
didn't-
movie?
Freddy's Dead.
Oh, Freddy's Dead.
Oh no, it came out in '91.
Yeah, that's
Wow, I was way off.
early 90s.
Yeah, so that came out in 1991, and they did the same thing with that, and it didn't work. It didn't work well. But they only had like one sequence that it was 3D, not the whole movie. When I was watching,
I love Freddy's Dead, man.
it is a good one.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's a
lie,
great
like
film.
it's.
But I
it's a
know
great
what
film.
you guys are talking
But
about.
it didn't work well. So when I was watching the new one, my boyfriend had mentioned, he's like, "Do you want to know why they did it solely in 3D?" And I'm like, "I don't know, to be spooky." And he's like, "No, because back in the 50s when 3D was a brand new invention, all of the boys took their sweethearts to a horror movie on Valentine's Day, and it was in 3D. So they're paying homage to that." And he's right. He's absolutely right. Like if you think about it, like in the 1950s, what would you? Of course, you're not going to go, like, you're either going to go to Makeout Point if you're a rebel in the 1950s,
Yeah.
you know, or you're going to go to a movie with your sweetheart. And 3D was really big back then. In fact, I think the majority of the 3D movies that were released during that time, they gave a 3D option for, or they did it just in 3D. And
Yeah.
that was the blue and red 3D, but nevertheless.
Oh, yeah, the low quality, very,
Paper.
The color.
yeah,
Those things are awesome.
new.
They are.
I mean, it's nothing compared to today's. And even this film isn't, I think, shot in true 3D where they shoot with like 3 cameras on one scene and all that.
I don't think those cameras were invented when that
Yeah.
movie came out. I think that's more of like 2010 and
yeah.
beyond. And so when they had to have shot 3D either in 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
Plus it was a Lionsgate film. So I don't, and even we had accidentally played the 3D version and I could tell that it was still the blue and red type of
Oh, yeah, for sure.
filming. So no, they didn't use a 3D camera.
For sure. So, My Bloody Valentine, between your picks, I think I got hers. She likes the original more. What about you?
I would have to go with original.
The original as well?
Yep.
I will say this about the remake, though. It's definitely a guilty pleasure horror film because it does a lot of nods to the original. The deaths are even more gory in the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost... So when I first started watching it, I was like, they had to have done this on purpose. It has to be a B, like in style of a B movie.
A B movie?
And my boyfriend's like, no, it's not. Trust me, it's not. Because he had seen it before. And I'm like, but it has to be because this dialogue is killing me. Like, they have to know what they're doing. And then, like, he pointed out to me later, he's like, no, it's like a love square because the one guy wants his old girlfriend, but she's married to this other guy and he's having an affair. And I'm like, that's it. It's now become a soap opera because they've done way too many love lines, and that's why it's coming across as so terrible.
I was just about to use that phrase, soap opera. That's
like,
that's what
and then that's when it clicked. I'm like, okay, they put in way too many love lines, and they fucked up the story. Not that it was really that fantastic to begin with,
Yeah.
but if you want to kill a movie, adding way too many love lines is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they did the weird twist at the end with it's all in his head, but he's a killer. And I fucking hate that period. I didn't like it in Fight Club. I didn't like it in fucking American Psycho. If that's the card you're going to play, you need to play it from the beginning and not the end.
Not the end. Yeah, I totally agree. So, any other romantic horror movies out there that you guys can think of off the top of your head?
There's that Valentine's movie back in 2001.
That thing's trash too, man.
Yeah.
That's like, I would compare that movie to Urban Legends or something. It's got that feel. Just that period, you know, Scream has come out. It's reinvented the slasher era for a new generation. And that Valentine's movie tried to capitalize on it, and it just failed.
Let's throw Denise Richards in there.
I did like the mask, though. The whole idea of that
Yeah.
Cupid mask thing. That was a little creepy. But other than that, it was just one of those, oh, man, I don't know. This movie's too teen bopper for me, I guess. I use that phrase a lot. I've noticed teen bopper. I'm using it all the time.
I mean, it's running off the coattails of I Know What You Did Last Summer and
Yeah, just all
Urban
those. Yep.
Legend, all those.
It is. And
All that
yeah.
trail of garbage.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's on the later end of that stuff.
Yeah.
So as it was kind of already going out.
It's like let's
Let's
squeeze the
do
cash
this.
cow just
Yeah.
a little bit more.
We'll keep it up. We'll keep it up. You know, another one is we were talking about this last night, but Hellraiser. That's got a nice little romance to it.
I think most horror films do have some sort of romance aspect to them.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, because you either have, it seems like the killer is in love with somebody and trying to get the girl or the guy or whoever in the fuck he's trying to love.
Yeah.
He's trying to get, she is trying to get somebody. Or the hero or the heroine usually has their significant other that they're trying to save as well. So I think in any given horror movie, there is always a love story. Or they invent a love story. For example, The Fog. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis just happened to be hitchhiking, and, like, he picks her up, and then they're all of a sudden a couple, you know, by the end of the movie.
But isn't that how relationships are? I mean, they just
Absolutely.
kind of happen
I
out of the...
I constantly go out and find myself in trouble and end
No,
up with
but
a
I mean,
boyfriend at the end
serious.
of my day.
You never... I mean, it seems like to me, the strongest relationships and stuff are the ones that you almost fall into not planning it. You got like all these dating websites nowadays where people get on and make relationships, but they seem to fail fast. I don't know if that's just my take on it and I'm all traditional or whatever.
I think it's just a ploy. Most stories, in any given story, you have a romance because that is part of life, and you relate to the characters more when it's in a romantic setting. Or usually you have to do like you have family, friendship, or romance, and a lot romance sells.
Okay.
Because it appeals to a broader audience. So I think there's one in every single one. I mean, I'm writing a horror story and I put one in mine. So I think it's just the way America does entertainment. We have to have a love story of some kind, whether it be a bromance between two friends or an actual romance or like someone dedicated to their family, like Norman Bates. That's technically a love story. A boy loved his mom way too fucking much.
Well, you know, look at Friday the 13th.
There you go.
You know?
You know it's a crazy love story as Bug.
Bug is the weirdest. Yeah, you want to talk about weird off the wall
Like
love stories in a film with two people. Well, the one guy is, spoiler alert, is pretty much, well, they leave it up to you in the film.
Yeah, they did.
Like, they don't set a solid answer, but it's like, is he a paranoid schizophrenic or is he not? Is he really telling the truth? You don't know, but it's just, that movie's crazy. If you haven't seen Bug, go check it out. It's got what's her name?
Ashley Judd? Yeah.
She's in it, and then the lead male character is...
I'm looking it up right now to help you out because this is not one that I've seen.
I haven't seen Bug in a while. It's been years and years.
You were the first person to show me that crazy movie.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. If you're afraid of creepy crawly things.
Ashley Judd, Michael Shannon, Lynn Collins, Brian Breen or Brian. Why the fuck you would name your kid Brian when your last name is O'Brien? I have no idea. Harry Connick Jr.
Oh, yeah. Go check that one out. That's definitely
We were talking about Return of the Living Dead 3. How that has.
There you go. That's a great little zombie love-ish story.
Yeah.
Well, should we go to a music break? And then when we come back, we will discuss our favorite romantic relations in horror movies and our horror movie crushes.
Yes. But I want you guys to tell me your horror movie crushes first.
We'll totally go with ours first.
Because it seems cliche for me to be like, I like this person, that person.
Well, we will be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
tight. All I wanna know is why I can't take you home tonight. Or maybe I can, is that your man? Maybe just leave him right where he stands. Hop in the whip, blow a few grand. Don't even trip, baby, give me your hand. Yeah, every wish is my command. My only wish is that this is the plan. Tell me if you feel it too, I'm feeling you, and that's the truth. Let's do what we both came to do. Hit the room and knock the boots.
You know what you want when you're feeling the flame. Ain't never no need for no playing no games. I'm feeling you, baby, so get in my range. I'm getting you first and you giving me brains. Backing it up and I'm bringing the pain. I'm getting the thing and you screaming my name.
Come on, rock me, ooh, baby, don't you go.
Baby, don't go. I'm feeling the vibe and I'm loving the way that we flow.
You ain't so innocent, I know.
For real though, you know it's out of control.
Rock me, baby, all through the night. I think I'm gonna knock it out the park tonight. So 6 in the morning, so getting it on. I wanna hear you moan. Burn with love, I might bite, turn it up. Tell me if you like it rough or is it enough? I got it bad for you, baby, can I bury my bone? Take you back to the damn doggy style of my home. Deep in the zone, baby, you're gone, out of your mind. Tell me I'm wrong, grinding and teaching the beat of the drum. And I'm making you know every time that I come rock me, roll me, get to know me. If there's something you can show me, don't be shy, just ride the pony. Hold me tight, don't leave me lonely. When your man don't care, when he don't care, you know we'll be there. I'm giving you love, giving you love, feeling good love, feeling the love. Baby, it's love, give me your love. Tell me if you wanna rock me, baby, all through the night. I think I'm gonna knock it out the park tonight. Come on. Till 6 in the morning, so getting it on. I wanna hear you moan.
What's up, baby? Let's do this.
I can. I kind of have a.
Whoa, what's that got to do with us?
Well, I've never done this before, but I've always wanted to be a rock star.
Let's roll down.
Bring it on back, I'm hitting it fast. Reaching around, you like it like that. Come on and walk, baby, let's grind. I'm biting your neck and you blowing my mind. Rock me all night, let the fire ignite. I'm feeling the flames and I know what I like. Rock me and watch how we burn into light. Rock me till the morning light. Slow down, baby, baby. Oh yeah, just like that. Yeah, you like it like that when I'm speeding it up. You like it like that when I'm beating it up. Come on and rock me, I want you so much and I know you ain't never had nothing like me. Come on, mama, you looking so fly. You fitting in jeans, they make you so tight. All I wanna know is why I can't take you home tonight.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for continuing to tune in, or thank you for just joining us. We had a whole lot of metal in that set. We had Mad Max. Their song was Rock Me from the album Mad Max. And then we had Arsenic Addiction. The song was Requiem of the Fallen from their album Arsenic Addiction. And then we had 30 Grit Slurry. The song was Wasted, and the album was 30 Grit Slurry. So, if you're listening and you liked those artists, those were the names and appropriate titles of their songs.
Right on, right on. Well, we are back, and we've been discussing romance and bromances and Valentine's horror, and we're going to move on to our horror movie crushes. So, Mary doesn't want to go first. I guess I will
You go first.
go first, and it's a tie between Christina Ricci and Fruza Bulk.
Fruza Bulk.
Yeah, from The Craft.
Oh, I know. Why? Okay. Why do men find her so attractive?
I don't know. I think it's her attitude, man.
Okay, I'm going to dispute this, and I will dispute it until the day I die, because that chick...
That chick, what?
No, that chick is a straight up, like, can I say the C word? Or do you think people are going to... She's a straight up C word, okay? Like, and I mean, and like, don't get me wrong, like, I love that movie growing up, and definitely... when it came out in, like, I think 95 or 96, whenever it was.
Well, I don't think any guy watches that movie for the plot or the movie itself. It's
well,
just
of course not.
they
They watch it for the hot chicks. The girls watch it because it's like women power and women getting what they want through witchcraft. But I'm just saying, like, during that time when that movie came out, that type of style and that type of attitude for girl was really... It was in. It was like hot. It was like, ooh, she's a bad, kind of like the bad boy for girls. It's like bad girl type thing. But in retrospect now, I'm like, she's just trashy and crazy, and I don't like that. And I don't like that men like that, because I'm a bitch and I'm crazy and I get all sorts of shit from men.
Well, I don't know if I like the current version of her, but back then, yes, I would have to fall for her. And the Solskis sisters, they're pretty hot themselves. I very much enjoy them.
I like how you're like grinning like a schoolboy right now. You're like, yeah, I like these girls. They're hot. All right,
I already
Eddie.
know who Eddie's is gonna be because he's got a
giant. I don't know, so stop ruining stuff for me.
The more you hang around this guy, you'll figure out he's got this huge.
What's wrong with having
Because I almost want to call this person if I ever could and be like, if he ever shows up at one of your trade shows, avoid him because you'll be in his trunk by the end of the night heading out to some desert wasteland.
Just know, Eddie, that I don't judge you because I've had a hard-on for Ryan Reynolds since I was about 13 years old.
Oh, my
Still
God.
to this day. And that and Robert Downey Jr. I've liked Robert Downey Jr. since I was about 12, so... I understand, Eddie. It's okay. But who is this person?
So it's Daniel Harris.
I don't even know who...
Daniel Harris, come on. Halloween 4, Halloween 5.
Rob Zombie's Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Oh, okay.
Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3.
Okay. I know who you're talking about now.
She's a hottie for sure.
She is a cute girl.
Eddie like sees her and he's like, whoa, man.
She's like wine, gets better with age.
She does. She really does not look her age. She's what, 30?
She was born in 1977, so she is 30. She's 39.
Yeah, and
She'll be
she
39
definitely
this
does not look 39. I mean, they cast her as a teen in Halloween 1 and 2 of Rob Zombies. I mean, she definitely she hit like a peak age and just didn't go down.
Yeah.
Well, is she short? Because sometimes that contributes
really
to
short.
it. Is that the real reason you like her, Eddie? Is because she's short and pretty?
Eddie, are you into short chicks?
Because there's a whole slew of men that really like girls that are really cute that are really short. Like there's just something attractive about
that.
Them.
Might be it. You're this big bear guy. Like, yes, I want my little short girl.
You need some petite. So is that your only crush? Is just her, or do you have others?
The Sosko sisters too.
What about Elvira?
Elvira's way up there.
She's too old for me, man.
What the fuck are you talking about? Who cares? She is a gilf. She is banging.
Oh man, the grandma I'd like to fuck. I don't know if I'm into that.
Elvira, she's incredible.
What?
Hey.
I'm not talking about like grandma like wrinkled skin in a cane.
I
I'm
know,
talking
but
about like
she's-
grandma like
she's-
damn, you're a
She
grandma.
is like what, in her 60s now?
I think she is. Let me-
That's just too old for me. I just can't see it, man.
Did she?
You know, I can do the whole thing. I can do the whole. You know, if they're in my
She's
my age group or
she's-
above, but
She's 64.
yeah, it's not happening
she's-
for me.
Oh, it's happening for me.
Well, yeah, that's fine. You guys, yeah, obviously, it's happening for Mary too over here. She's like, I don't give a
It's true,
shit,
like-
man.
She's
I'd
be
bang
asking
her.
for the hall pass.
So, are there any grandpas out there in the horror life that you like as well?
I'd bang her. That's all I'm saying. Like if I were born a man, I'd be like, I don't give a shit. You could be 100.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
like, you are banging. You're weird.
Does she do anything anymore, or is she kind of?
She does. She has her whole. She still has her production company, Queen Bee Movie Productions. She produces all sorts of
She
shit
has
with
a
that.
big show in Knott's Berry Farm.
But
She
what
doesn't-
I mean is, like, is she still playing the hot Elvira
Yeah,
character?
she does
yeah.
her show at Knott's Berry Farm. They did a revamp of her actual hosting horror show a couple years ago. I don't know if that's still going on. She still does DVD releases. She also did a series on I don't remember which channel, but it was like Making the New Elvira or something, like her stunt double or whatever. So she's still very active.
No, without all that makeup on, she just looks like a grandma to me, man. I think it's the makeup that does it for you guys.
No way. I think
No
she's
way,
pretty
man.
now
Like,
too.
really? Like that? Come on. Like,
She's a good
She's
looking.
an icon,
She's
but-
64. She looks like she's 45.
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, I don't care. Like,
okay.
women,
Like, I'm not.
Eddie said it best. Like, women are like wine. Like, they just get
No,
better
he
with
said
age.
the one girl was like wine. Some women are like a 6-pack of beer.
Well, yeah, like Franz or whatever in the hell her name is, like the trashy girl from The Craft. that
Hey,
we're talking
now,
about.
you watch
She's the one
it.
that's gonna age bad.
No, I agree. Let's look up what she looks like now.
Yeah,
So
Pabst Blue
She did that. A Utah Pabst. Pabst is actually good outside of Utah, so you gotta specify because there are a lot of Pabst lovers out there. I'm pretty sure every punk rock kid I know is just like angry that you said that.
I can't even find her on here. Am I spelling her name wrong?
I don't even know what her name is.
Just
I just
Google
looked up The
Craft
Craft.
Girl.
Yeah. So my horror crushes are Ashley Williams, who is from Evil Dead. All of the movies, Ash, first Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell in general, because he's a good-looking guy and he's funny as hell. And he's a badass. He's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to go home. I'm
What
gonna
did-
kill everybody.
what-
in my-
Even when he was the Briscoe cowboy.
maybe not the Briscoe Cowboy.
What did you think of him in Ash vs. the Evil Dead?
I haven't seen it yet. I told you we
Oh,
just
God.
got internet yesterday. I haven't had stars.
You have to binge watch.
Well, because he is a straight up womanizer, racist, just straight up like
He's
stereotypical white.
Okay, so let
old
me
white-
elaborate on this. Okay, so he's a dick, but he knows he's a dick, and he's just like, "Yo, baby, I'm a dick. You can either be with me or not," and that's what I find attractive about him. He's just like, "I know I'm a dick. You either take it or leave it," and I would take it.
Oh
because
God, you would
It's
take
actually-
it. She would take the
I would
dick.
take it. So, and then my other crush is Vladislav from What They Do in the Shadows, What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, okay.
Because I just love everything about him. I love the fact that
Which
he's
one
like,
is that? I watched that movie not too long ago. Which
Okay, so
is he the one that's like the beast?
yeah. He
Okay,
is.
yeah.
So hold on. So he is the old time like Romanian from like the Dark Ages vampire.
Yeah.
And I just love him because it's the same thing. Like, he's just kind of a dick and he doesn't care. He's like, we should get some slaves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's 2015.
Yeah.
Slaves are not okay. But he's like,
Yeah,
you
because
know?
he's just from that time
I
period.
just love everything about him. And I just love him. Like, the way he looks, the dialogue he has in the film. So those are probably mine. And then, of course, Elvira.
So no Tom Cruise from Interview with the Vampire?
No.
Who was the other guy
I can
in
never
Interview with the
picture
Vampire?
Thank you. Like,
Who's-
Tom Cruise.
No, well,
Tom Cruise in Legend, yes. Tom Cruise after that, no.
No.
Not so much.
What about who's the other guy in Interview with a Vampire?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
So Brad Pitt is pretty delicious, but I just
Doesn't do it for you as much.
no, it's not that. It's that so all of the movies that he made most of his money from were coming out when I was growing up.
Got ya.
And so I'm kind of Brad Pitt. Like, he's always been attractive, but he just always was a celebrity, like really popular celebrity growing up. So he's attractive, but I don't really. There's no character that he's played where I'm like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just, meet Joe Black, kind of. Because he was, like, sweet and, like, naive. And that's kind of cute.
What about your thing with Robert Downey Jr.? What makes him...
I love Robert Downey Jr. Again, because he's a dick and he knows he's a dick.
Do you like him in he plays Iron Man, right?
He plays
Iron Man.
In the early 90s, 80s, he's played in quite a few films.
He was much more popular when he was younger because his father was an actor too, I think, if I remember right. So, like, he was in, like, Weird Science. He was in a couple other of those type of films. He was in I saw him in Ally McBeal, and that's really why I had a crush on him, is because he was Ally McBeal's final love interest in that series, and I watched that series pretty regularly growing up, and he was, like, the best boyfriend that she had, and so I think I just fell in love with his character. Plus, he's attractive, and yeah, he's a bad boy.
The first movie I ever saw him in was Less Than Zero. When
Really?
He played the drug.
He plays a good drug addict.
Because he's a
drug addict. Yeah, there's definitely a theme with guys I like.
He also played in Johnny Be Good. I saw that was like my second.
Did you like him in Johnny Be Good? Is that the one that it does it for you?
I also really like Lily Munster is probably one of my horror crushes, as well as Morticia. I prefer Angelica Houston Morticia over, because in the actual TV series, that actress, her name is Caroline. I'm looking it up right now. I can never remember what her last name is. Do you know who it is off the top of your head, Eddie? Caroline something. Caroline Jones. That's what it is. So she's very beautiful. But I like Angelica Houston better because I feel like she embodied the
character more? Or?
Yeah, kind of like she was darker and more sinister, and she was more of a matriarch.
Okay.
So I liked her more in that movie. And then Lily Munster is just like Yvonne DiCarlo. She's banging too. She's beautiful.
What about Morticia Addams or Gomez Addams from the Addams Family?
Which one? Because
the movie, the actual
movie one
film
that they did,
not the TV series.
What was that guy's name?
Raul Julia.
He was an attractive guy. I heard that didn't he commit suicide or something?
He died. I don't know of
was it a
what.
drug overdose?
Let me see. I'm on his IMDb.
I'm pretty sure he was a drug addict too.
He died at age 54. It was discovered. Blah blah blah. A stroke.
Oh.
Thanks,
I was
man.
way off.
He's a drug addict.
We're talking about Robert Downey Jr. and I know Robert Downey Jr. was a drug addict, as was his father. So I was just going with the roll. It's just rolling with it.
So, we've discussed our horror movie crushes and beyond. What about your favorite horror movie couple or romance? Or, we have the Addams Family. That's a great one. Do you guys have any that were just right there for you?
Herman and Lily, obviously, if you're going to bring up the Addams Family. Trying to think of another. I really like one of my favorite lines in the original Nightmare on Elm Street is when the phone rings and she picks it up and he's like, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy."
And the tongue
comes out. I'm like, you're a fucking creeper, Freddie. And I love it.
Just a little
He's
bit.
always on the creep.
Right? Well, he was a child molester, so.
Now, hang on. That was only brought to...
No, it was in the original one.
How so?
Because she has the discussion with Nancy. Like, when they're down in the broiler, like, Nancy starts freaking out, and she shows her mom the hat, and she's like, "Fred Krueger, mother! Fred Krueger!" So she takes her down to the boiler room of their house, And she pulls it out, and she's like, he was a filthy child
Killer.
child murderer. They do say it in one of the
I
other
don't
ones,
think they
too.
ever
No, they
insinuate
do.
that he was a molester, and I think that's where they got a lot of backlash with the reboot, is because they straight up put it in there that he touched little kids, and a lot of fans were like, "That's not what Freddy is. He's
But
not
that's what
a."
he was. Wes Craven even said that. Like,
Well, we gotta.
they said I know they've said it in multiple movies. I'm pretty. She said.
So then
why
why would in the original ones
Because-
instead of killing everybody, why isn't he like, "Come here, Nancy, I want to touch you"?
Well, because he no longer has a body. First of all,
Yeah, he has a body.
he only has a dream body. Okay, let me put it to you this way: a human being goes into a dream sequence for about 5 to 10 minutes. If he only has 5 to 10 minutes to kill people, you think he'd be fucking slashing them, not trying to rape them, right? Because you only have precious little time.
But
when you
there's a big
exist in a
difference
dream
between
world.
sexual predator and murderer as well.
There is, but he was trying to get so when we find Freddy in the series, he is a dream entity, right? So he can only appear in dreams. And then on top of that, he crap, I forgot where I was going with this. So he's in the dream sequence, he's a dream murderer, and he also wanted revenge on the children of the parents who killed him. So that's why we focus more on the slashing part of it than the molesting part of it. The reason he went to court and the reason why the parents got vigilante justice on him is because he would molest the children before killing them.
Okay.
So, and Wes Craven's come out and said that he was. The reason why they didn't play it up in the 80s is because it had to do with the rating system back then, and also because they knew they wanted to market it to younger audiences. And so, or not younger audiences, but they wanted to market the merchandise to young viewers. And so they kind of had to skip over that part, but I swear it's mentioned in the first one during
Yeah,
that scene.
I'm looking it up. And
Maybe it's not in that scene, but I swear to God it's mentioned
it's
either
like,
in the second or third film.
Let's put it this way. The conversation we're having is the same exact conversation that's online, just people fighting back and forth. Yes, he is. No, he wasn't. Yes, he is. No, he is.
Okay.
So
I will prove this shit.
I'm just saying what I'm finding right now. The funny thing is, I put in was Freddy Krueger A, and the first thing it comes up with, real person. I can't believe anyone would believe that. But while she's looking up this Freddy Krueger duo thing between being a child killer and molester, Eddie, do you have a favorite romance? Like, was it Frank and what's her name in Hellraiser? Or
I liked Ed and Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Their relationship's strong and just.
Especially doing paranormal investigations and what they go through, especially what Lorraine goes through.
Mm-hmm.
How Ed's there to always support her.
That's interesting.
That's a good one. That's one that I wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Bride of Chucky and things like this, and he's getting all philosophical over here. Well,
You know
what
who
about
we
this
should
one?
mention is the couple in Natural Born Killers. I actually haven't seen that movie,
It's terrible.
but every single time I see things about like horror relationships, they always pop up. And I get it because it's like you're going to kill people. Like, who better than your significant other to be your companion?
Did you like Natural Born Killers? I felt like I was on an acid trip the whole time I was
that's
watching
how I
that
felt,
movie.
Too. It was like just complete acid trip because
Yeah.
they got like all these weird
Greens and yellows and the
Yeah.
palette coloring that they did on the film was just so out there.
I mean, Oliver
It's
Stone
almost like that one film.
Well, Oliver Stone, all of what he was doing was trying to prove a point that American society loves their true crime.
Yeah, very true.
Their true crime movies. They're stuck to the glued to the TV with the news and all that.
You know what relationship I like, and it's not a romantic relationship in the essence of like being in love, like I don't know, like adults or whatever, but is that film. Oh, what is it called? It's about the guy that gets diagnosed with brain cancer.
That's a really vague description.
And he starts killing members of society because it's so like Die America or something.
God Bless America.
God Bless America.
You
There
showed me
you go.
that movie.
That movie
On
and that
Netflix.
relationship between him and like that 16-year-old.
Mhm.
It's not like a love relationship, but they do kind of form this relationship together of like, father-daughter type thing. And I
Yeah.
just thought it was awesome because that whole movie's awesome.
That movie, you definitely should check that. It blows your mind. You're like, what the hell?
I love how they just randomly slaughter all these people that represent, like, obviously they don't call them the Kardashians in the movie. They have a different name, but he goes and slaughters them. He slaughters all the people of not American Idol, but what it is in the movie. And it's just great. Great fun.
One romance that I did genuinely like, all jokes aside, is the love story between Larry Talbot and his brother's fiance in the new remake of The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. So I can't remember her name either.
I've only seen the original Wolfman.
You should. So the original
1930s.
Wolfman was good. I like the remake better solely because I saw the remake first, honestly, but I like the remake better in terms of story. There's a richer storyline for the remake than there is for the original.
Yeah,
There's also a really great twist.
There is.
So it's Larry Talbot or Lawrence. They call him in the remake. They don't call him Larry in the original, or they call him Larry in the original one. And then Gwen is who I'm talking about. And the reason why I like it is because I'm a hopeless romantic, and of course, at the end of the movie, she's like trying to save him. Like, I know you're in there, Lawrence. I know. Just look at my eyes. Cliche as all hell, but I love it because you could honestly, like, she really felt for him, like felt for his torment that he was going through. And she really, truly loved him, and she didn't want to have to shoot him with a silver bullet, but she did.
They actually did a good job with the CGI on that movie.
They did. I really liked how they also they didn't make him an animal. They made him like the classic upright universal monster, but they made him gorier and scarier, which was really good.
What about this one? So this is not like it's a fan theory, but Clarice and Lecter. Do you think there's some romantic undertones going there? It's straight up a huge fan theory.
I'm sure it is, but whatever you guys are going to say, and then I'll touch in.
No, yeah, I'm just curious what you guys' thoughts.
Oh, boom. Along with being a serial killer, Wes Craven also wanted Freddy to be a child molester, but this idea was soon dropped. 26 years later, however, the character, that trait would be used for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Give me damn it. I was going to say give me Wes Craven's phone number and call him up, but he passed away too.
Like, don't ever question my knowledge about Freddy.
Oh, whatever.
No, dude.
She looks like she's going to jump across that table.
I'm going to beat the shit. Like, my whole life, dude. Like, that's where horror started for me was with fucking Freddy. Like,
well, I'm a Michael fan anyway, so fuck Freddy.
So eat a glove knife, you dick.
Okay, so we've come to romances, our famous romances in horror. No one wants to answer my Hannibal Lecter.
Okay, so
Clarice
I'll touch on it
Starling.
then because Eddie just laughed. I'm calling you Freddy now. Eddie just laughed and didn't say anything.
I can tell she gets really serious about this Freddy stuff. She's like flustered right now. Her face is blushing. She is like, damn you! Don't you ever question like Mary just rips apart and it's Freddy inside of her.
It's gonna be like Freddy's Revenge with like fucking Jesse. Like I'm just like all of a sudden his arm's gonna poke out of my and I'm gonna be like, oh god, and then so Eddie's gonna bang on the door and be like, Dad!
It's not gonna open. Okay, real quick then, before we go on, I want to know, since you're a huge fan of Freddy Krueger, what was your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street?
Mine was the first one, the original.
First one?
Yeah, mine's
New Nightmare.
When I was growing up, though, number 4 was my favorite one because Alice is a fucking badass, and I loved how she went into the church and like beat the fuck out of him. Mm-hmm. So that and her brother was really super hot. So growing up,
I like Freddy's Dead, man, because I like the whole Power Glove scene. And
New Nightmare was just,
that was straight up like demonic, crazy.
creepy.
I
When
love-
I saw that when I was a kid. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
This got real.
That's actually the first one I ever seen was New Nightmare. So I thought that's what Freddy was the whole time. No laughs, no jokes, just straight up killer. And then I watched the second one, third one. It was like,
Especially
oh
when
wow.
the kid's in the hospital bed, he drags up his babysitter.
Yeah, homage to the first.
When they did that scene, I liked that they did that scene because it was obviously a nod to Tina's death in the first one.
Yeah.
Because they were dragging her all over the place.
And his
So I thought
glove
it was really
pretty badass.
His glove was badass.
Lack of glove, man. It was just in his damn hands. Like that thing was creepy.
What I was gonna say about the Hannibal Lecter and the Clarice comment was, I think in every medium of horror, when you have a female, when you have like a heroine, and then you have like your antagonist or whatever, and it's the killer or whatever, there's always some sort of sexual tension in in books, in movies. Like, for example, when we did our horror and literature show, I had mentioned about the 13 Bullets series. And in this series, Laura Caxton, the main character, she's actually a lesbian. And her partner, I'm going to ruin stuff for people, but her
Tune out if you don't want to know this.
Well, I'm going to try to not ruin it. So anyway, so she's lesbian, and then later on, someone that she has partnered with throughout the books becomes a vampire. And there's a moment where, like, they're in this dark, I think they're in a tunnel or a cave or some shit, and he's, like, leaning up behind her to, like, get at her throat, and he, like, moves her hair. And, like, even though she's a lesbian and he obviously just wants to kill her, she mentions, because you see everything from Laura's point of view, she mentions about how sexual it comes across, even to her. So I think there's always that air of tension when you have a story like that. And I think that's where a lot of that fan theory comes through. Just like when you posted that picture the other day about a fucking Lori and Jason together, and like, look, Michael, who's my Valentine? And I made the comment, I was like, someone made the comment, but they're brother and sister. And I was like, well, he is a serial killer, so incest isn't going to be too far behind. And everyone was like, oh, no, that's not true. I'm like...
No. If you see Halloween 6, the producer's cut, Michael Myers straight up impregnates...
Because that's why Daniel Harris hated what they did with...
Well, yeah, because it's her character.
Yeah.
It's Jamie Lloyd, and she gets impregnated by Michael in Halloween 6. And that's why he's after that kid, because that's his child.
Oh, I see. Okay. So see, well, and when you do a lot of, like, I have a lot of friends who are really into like serial killers and stuff, or even if you look at killers, there's usually can be traced back to some sort of like sexual weirdness in terms of like a sexual disorder or sexual abuse.
Yeah, like you're talking more like Ed Gein and Gacy and all
right,
these
exactly.
guys.
There's always an air of sex in whether it be like they were abused as a child, or the killings give them some sort of sexual release. Like it's there's a fine line between like being psychotic and it being associated with like sex, which is really disturbing if you think about it.
Yes.
So it doesn't surprise me that someone would be like, oh, Hannibal Lecter and Clarice probably had some sort of romance or something
thing.
Because in every one of those stories there's always an air of tension that way.
For sure. Well, should we go to another music break real quick and then come on back and discuss some more romance, or do you guys want to keep going?
We could probably take another break, but we'll do 2 songs this time instead of 1.
We'll go with 2 songs. What are we gonna play, Mary?
So this artist is called American Hitman. Their album, or the song, is called Blackened from the album American Hitman. So enjoy, guys.
Right on. We'll be back.
Have you ever seen the surface of the sun? It's black and skin cuts you right down to the bone.
Welcome back to the Cryptic Creepshow. We've been talking Valentine's, horror, love, everything for this great romantic weekend. And now we're going to talk our personal opinions on Valentine's Day itself. We'll start with Eddie. What are your opinions of Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate it? Do you not?
I definitely don't celebrate it. I mean, I've only done it once, and I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
I was
Kind of like a...
This is so overrated. I'm like, dude, who cares? I mean, don't celebrate. I mean, your wife's gonna be pissed off. Who cares? She'll get over it by the next day.
Yeah. I love it. Your wife will be pissed off, but she'll get over it by the next day. Some of them. Not all of them. What about you, Mary? Do you guys celebrate it? Is it a
Okay. Because it's part of Western culture, I try to make an effort to celebrate it. And every year, my boyfriend and I, we give each other gifts. And there's this website called toxictunes.com. If you haven't checked it out, go do it right now. There's a great artist by the name of Eric Piggers. He's based in Burbank, California, I think, somewhere in California. And so he does horror, he does like creepy art, and every year he does Valentine shirts and stuff that are like creepy themed. So we always do that, and sometimes we try to do like a dinner or a movie or something cool like a jacuzzi suite at our hotel room. But every time we try to do something, it always gets fucked up. Like, for example, when we did get a jacuzzi room in a hotel, there was people across the way that were having some sort of crazy ass fight. And I had to call the police on them because it was like 2 a.m. and they were threatening to like beat each other up.
Well, at least it was a fight and not some crazy ass
Right.
something else.
And then the cops came and the whole night just went downhill after that. So it's just another day, I guess. And
Yeah.
it really is more or less just a ploy to make money for something that isn't significant.
Wow. Crazy.
Maybe I could, start going back to my roots and start sacrificing young men on Valentine's Day. Then I'd celebrate it
And
more.
then you would do it more. Make a whole treat out of the whole day. Oh, I myself, man, I celebrate it fully. I go buy those stuffed bears, give them to my wife. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
I'm like, what?
Me and my wife forgot our damn anniversary last year for marriage. Did we celebrate Valentine's Day? No. Funny thing, we're like putting together this wood floor in one of our rooms, and we get a text. Oh, happy anniversary, guys! And we both look at each other like, did you forget? Yep. Did you forget? Yep. Okay, good. Like sigh of relief.
We both forgot.
So it wasn't one person that was like, no. It was both of us like,
No, it wasn't
oh,
me.
thank God.
Isn't it funny that the longer that you're in a relationship, the less you celebrate holidays?
Yeah,
because it's all been done, and you see the person every single day, so you're just like, it's just another day. I love you.
I love it. You see these like brand new couples, like brand new, and they do all the Valentine stuff, all the, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
all the little things. And when I look back at it, I'm like, I remember doing that.
I remember it existed once.
At one time.
Once upon a time. Yeah, I'm totally that way as well. I think I think that if people tried to make it more, like you see those posts on Facebook where it's like, let's get rid of Valentine's Day and replace it with a second Halloween.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally down with that. But even if you did something cool for Valentine's Day, like there's a few places that do like zombie. In fact, Ogden, there was a place in Ogden that used to do them.
Like a zombie dance
They would
or
do
something?
a zombie dance. And I can't remember if it was in the summertime or around Valentine's Day. But if we started doing that, like if a bunch of like horror, goth, punk, metal kids got all together and were like, let's do like a gory Valentine's Day or something, I think that would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Or like if they opened up haunted houses or something.
Yeah.
It would make it more fun.
Yeah, rather than here's some chocolates.
Yeah.
Here's your teddy bear that will go on the shelf and get thrown away next year.
Right? It's just a consumerism holiday that's really unnecessary, I think.
It is. We can't even do the stuffed animal stuff for each other because our little dogs end up grabbing them and ripping them apart and doing things I don't want to mention on the radio to these little stuffed animals.
I think everyone's seen a dog with a stuffed animal before, so I think we all know what you're trying to say.
I gotta my Shih Tzu.
Your dog's going to hell, by the way.
Oh,
He's a sinful boy.
The Shih Tzu for sure. He's screwed up, man. He used to have this little. It wasn't little. It was actually really big, a big stuffed animal. And the things,
I just love watching you struggle to tell this story.
Because I don't want to tell it. Because it was
why
like,
are you saying it?
I don't know.
It's not like me and Eddie were like, tell us more, Marcus.
So, okay, I'll stop. But he did dirty things with this stuffed animal
I just felt bad
above
for
and
the
beyond.
person that had to throw that thing away.
You know exactly what I'm talking about then. Little bastard. He's got some like BDSM German fetish stuff going on. I don't know, man. He's like, oh.
You know what? Probably some poor kid saw the in the garbage.
Oh,
no.
Mommy, it smells funny. Oh, we'll just wash it. Yeah, no, you didn't want that.
Why'd you have to go there, Eddie? Gross. The dogs love teddy bear. Gross.
That's what it was,
Barf.
man.
That's so nasty.
Oh, God. This little teddy bear slut.
His little teddy bear slut. Like I'm like when you said that, I'm like thinking your dog's probably thinking in his
What,
head.
your dog doesn't have a teddy bear slut?
My dog got his balls chopped off, so he's more about getting fat and just hanging out than he is about getting booty from
My
something.
dog still has them nuts.
Well, there's your first problem. You need to chop those things off, otherwise you're gonna find
I know, but they're just
defiled teddy bears everywhere for the rest of your life.
What's interesting, he's never went after the Michael Myers or the Leatherface dolls.
Just
No.
the teddy. It's probably because the teddy bears kind of look like dogs, and he's probably like, "Hey, baby."
The funny thing about that, though, is they both fear those things. Like, they don't like them at all. They stay away. You take them towards them, they run off.
So speaking of bears, there is an artist, and the Facebook page is called Quiet Room Bears. This is something that Amber of the Spook Show Babies, she
Kind of turned you on to it?
Yeah, it was in her feed or whatever, and I saw it, and they're like gory bears. There's a couple people on Etsy that do that too. I know I have a set of bears that it was given to me by my boyfriend, and it's like really gory looking, like these bulgy eyes, and like it's hanging onto this other teddy bear, and there's a poem, and she's a stalker bear, and she loves this other bear so much. Really creepy and awesome at the same time. But so if you're in the market for a bear that's not going to be defiled by a Shih Tzu or a Dachshund or one of those other little dogs,
I can't make these purchases. I got to get them from the dollar store. Like, if I invest in a cool bear, it's gonna be my dog's bitch by the end of the week. So I'm not spending those $60 on a bear.
Well, okay, so if you don't have perverted animals,
Marcus is just screwed here.
you can go and look at, and you're like a horror fan, and your significant other is a horror fan. You can get them those instead of your standard white
regular
polar
bear.
bears with the "I love you" that's overpriced and non-biodegradable in any form.
We cleared out a Walmart once. I think I was 18. We bought a bunch of those bears like the day after Valentine's. And took them out to the West Desert and just blew the shit out of them. That was fun.
That's a little savage.
Target practice, man. It was cool.
You could also get plates at the dollar store for target practice.
Yeah,
but you're like, I want these bears.
Oh, come on. I was like 19 at the time. Like, let's kill them.
Wow. So what's something you received for Valentine's Day that was like the best gift ever? Like, because obviously any of us are not fans of Valentine's Day.
Well, that's
and we're
hard
not
because I can't. I know me and my wife have got each other little tidbits for Valentine's, but we've never done the whole go all out type thing.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
So
like, on Valentine's Day, someone gave you something that you, like, what was...
Myself, man.
Yourself? What do
Yeah,
you...
like, when I was, like, I think I was 17 or 18, I had just broken up with one of my exes at the time, and I had all this money that I had put away for Valentine's gift for her. And I said, screw this shit. And I went and bought myself a guitar for me for Valentine's Day. So that's my best thing I ever received.
That is a pretty good one.
What about you?
One of my first Valentine's with my boyfriend, he gave me a Lego box, and it was really cute because you had to put it together, and it was like this red box with white on it, so it looked like it was wrapped, and then it had a little heart, and inside were 2 little hearts too that you put together with Legos. So that was a really amazing gift that I got. And I think that same year he also got me a ring that was a bat, and it went on like 2 fingers.
I see a ring on your hand right now.
Yeah, but this
What
isn't
that?
the one. This is a bat, but it's
Not
broken. It's not the one he gave me that time.
Okay.
I don't have that ring anymore. It broke, unfortunately. But it was really cool because it was like those, almost like those brass knuckle rings that went on for 2. And it had
So
this big,
did you
giant
put that
bat.
ring on when you're like, it's time to beat some bitches?
No, I put it on, and it always used to get caught on like my sweaters and stuff. Like when I put my hand in my pocket, like get caught on it.
Oh.
And then over time, I think it got broken. I probably fell off my jewelry stand and like got stepped on or something. But
Eddie, we know you only celebrated Valentine's once, but
What did you get?
What did she get you? And what did you get her?
It was very uneventful.
Well, let's hear it.
I think she gave me some chocolates.
Just the traditional
and
stuff.
Traditional stuff.
Well, you're not a traditional guy. What did you waste your money on?
I wasted all my money on some bullcrap, some
Yeah, I can already see he's pissed. Like, I wish I had that money back right now.
Yeah, the typical bear, the typical chocolates, the typical.
Oh, that's what you got
chiplets.
her?
Yeah.
Oh.
boo.
Like,
And she didn't go out of her way for you. That's messed up.
I was just like,
Is this the girlfriend that I'm thinking of?
No, this is a different one. This is the one that. Yeah.
No. Okay, this is the Cryptic
You're making
Creepshow.
him like
There-
talk about
there-
this on air. Like you're a dick.
There are no secrets here.
There are no secrets, but you couldn't tell us. You didn't want to tell us about the bear and your dog.
Oh, well, that's not a secret. Like, I'm telling you, my dog defiled this bear, but I'm not going to say what he did because I don't want listeners at home to, like, puke up their lunch or dinner or whatever they're eating.
Because everybody's going to be eating it right now.
Well, I don't know. I'm not,
4:37.
I don't want to see something on our Facebook page like, you sick bastard.
Like we're okay.
I get it. Yeah, we don't, our
Like,
audience shouldn't be that anyways, but.
Well, like we're talking about horror. We were talking about child molesters for a minute there. We were talking about incest and creepiness but no, you can't go like, I won't tell you what my Shih Tzu did to this bear. No, it's all right. We'll move forward. I'm just trying to.
You know, I love that picture you put on my Facebook not too long ago.
Which
There's
one?
no wrong way to eat a
Yeah,
Reese's.
no wrong
Oh
way to eat
my
a
God.
Reese's.
So this picture, it's from the film Human Centipede, and it's got all of them daisy chained together, I guess you would call it. And they're just, no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
I don't think daisy chain's the word you're looking for.
What's
Because daisy chain is an orgy, but like it's.
Well, no,
the whole-
daisy chain to me is an audio term because you daisy chain audio patches together. You
Go
daisy.
to Urban Dictionary and type
Well,
in daisy
Jesus
chain.
Christ, I learn something every day. Daisy chain.
Well, so it's.
So explain to me what a daisy chain is.
I don't want to.
Come on. I will explain to you what my dog did to the bear. If you explain.
No, I want to move forward.
Or,
from
hang on,
this.
I'm looking up. Move forward then. I got to figure out what daisy chain is.
A daisy chain is a chain orgy. I'm gonna leave it up to your imagination.
I'm going.
There was 3 individuals. The first individual is fine, right? The second individual, the mouth is to the butt.
Yep.
And the third individual is mouth to the butt. And like it's all, there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
And if
'Cause
you
it's Human Centipede.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Human Centipede, there are 3 of them now. I would dare say the second one was the
second one pushed the limits.
Yeah, the third one
the
was
3.
lame. I couldn't
The
even.
3 was like pointless, stupid.
Yeah, it was just a cash crop. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people
Well,
like these shock
course.
movies.
But that second one was like, what the?
Yeah, that was pretty gross, man.
But I thought it was funny too, because I remember when we did the Halloween podcast for Horror Junkies, both of these guys were like, Reese's is the best. And when I trick or
It
treat, I
is,
only
man.
want Reese's. I'm not saying Reese's aren't good. All I'm saying is that it was
But
funny
Mary
that
prefers her Twix and peanut butter.
It's true. Do you want to know why? Because Mars is a far better candy manufacturer than Hershey's ever was. Or
Why?
will be.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said it. Look at me, Marcus.
I am
Clearly,
looking at you.
I have eaten my share, and probably someone else's share of candy
God.
throughout my life.
She's like, I kept Mars in business.
Pretty much, I probably sent somebody's fucking child to college in that Mars family. Okay, I done know that Mars is far better.
Well, why is Mars better?
That's going to be our topic now because we're talking
Okay,
about Valentine's
candy.
Day. We're going to talk about candy.
Okay, well.
I'm going to educate all you mofos.
Okay.
That's some good fucking candy.
Why?
Classic
Hershey's is great,
discussion.
man. We got Hershey's. They do Hershey's bars. They do Reese's.
I'm not talking about quantity. I'm talking about quality.
I'm not talking about quantity either. Both those candies are amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but Mars has Snickers, Milky Way,
Oh, Snickers. Ugh.
Twix. They also have
Eat a Snickers, you ain't being yourself.
they have Hershey's has Hershey bar, Reese's, and then they also have their shitty like their crackle bar that isn't even in a full bar. You have to get that shit in their miniatures. Also with Mr. Good Bar.
Well, that's the leftover
Well,
crap.
you can
You
get those
know.
in bars. They have
Not
big
like the
monster-
full size bars.
Yeah, they have like monsters ones.
Where are you shopping at where you can get a Mr. Good Bar? Like a king size good bar.
You gotta hit that candy aisle, right?
What do you mean right? It's an aisle, man. Like,
You're obviously missing
obviously
it.
not hitting
You're looking at
Clearly-
she's all for
clearly
the
I'm
stuff
going to
on
the
the
wrong
bottom
store.
shelf. Like, where's my Mars
what are you
candy?
guys like? It's a fucking aisle. Like I don't understand.
Dude, I when I was in Vegas, I went to the damn Hershey's World or whatever they have down
Well,
there.
yeah, like they're a big company, so they're gonna have cool shit. But I'm talking about the actual taste of their chocolate.
There ain't no Mars store.
Is far inferior to Mars. The only thing Hershey's has going for them in the United States is that they distribute the Cadbury chocolate. Well, they make and distribute the Cadbury chocolate.
eggs.
And Cadbury,
I don't know, man. I don't follow all this
Cadbury
distribution
is
of
fucking
chocolate
amazing.
and candy.
That's like the creme de la creme of chocolate.
I go to the gas
In
station, I
America,
get my
anyway.
Reese's and I fucking
Yeah,
leave. I don't even
Reese's is
bother
top.
with any other.
Again, like I can educate you on good candy,
Well,
but
But
you don't
can't
want me
find a full
to.
size Mr. Good Bar.
Okay, I don't even care if they exist.
I'm looking
I
it up
fucking-
now.
Like, are you talking at the gas station or the
I'm
grocery
talking
store?
at the grocery store.
I told you when I came into the studio, I'm like, I couldn't even find my Twix bar, like my peanut butter Twix bar at the grocery
Well,
store.
you went searching.
No, I did. I
You
went
just
through
buzzed
every.
and you're like,
Yo, I'm gonna order you a full size Mr. Good
I don't
Bar
care
right
about
now.
Mr. Good Bar.
Because
I was
they're-
just making
they're
a
there.
point.
peanut butter.
$2.29 plus $7.30 shipping and handling.
$7 to ship,
Ship
the
a
candy
fucking
bar.
candy bar.
Wow.
Then it's probably gonna be melted by the time it gets from the UPS truck to
Have
your
you guys?
store.
Have either of you seen like the specialty horror chocolates they have? Like they have like the skulls with the walnut brain, and they also have like Valentine's Day boxes that have like a coffin and like a zombie. Have you seen those before, Eddie?
No, I haven't.
You guys haven't seen them?
I haven't either. No.
You can Google them, and there's various confectioner companies, and usually they're out of the United States, so they're like in Canada or the UK or wherever. But they'll manufacture these specialty chocolates that are gory. So they'll either be like they have skull truffles, and they have the walnut skulls, and they have like the coffins and all sorts of stuff. So I would love to get that candy for Valentine's Day, being a horror fan. What about you, Marcus? What if your wife was like, brought you like what seemingly was a heart-shaped chocolate box, and you open it and it like has like skulls and zombies and all sorts of shit in it?
That'd be pretty cool. But I tend to try and stay away from candy.
Except for Reese's,
Except
obviously.
for Reese's. But man, I got so many cavities already. Like, I'm probably at 14 cavities.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even. I have 2 fake teeth in my mouth right now, and I need a third one. So
Well,
you're preaching to the choir.
Shit, man, you better stop eating that candy.
It's not because of the candy. I floss and brush my teeth every single day. It's because I have poor genetics.
genetics. Blame it on the genetics,
Blame it
not
on
the
the
Mr.
genetics.
Good Bar.
Genetics.
What about this though? Have you guys ever done the like chocolate covered crickets Or
No, but I
the
would.
Spider legs or all that
The
weird
only
stuff.
Not
thing-
spider legs.
You wouldn't do spider legs?
No, but that's just because I have a pet tarantula.
Okay.
So I find that hypocritical for me to be eating
Like-
spiders while I own a spider. That would be like me trying to eat dog meat because I have a dog.
There you
I
go.
got a sucker that had the worm in it.
Millworm.
Tequila?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a tequila sucker.
Did you eat the worm?
No.
Why?
How did the tequila
I think
sucker
we should
taste?
do that on our next show as part of a
still have
segment.
it. I
We-
never tried it.
We could do a show about disgusting, horrifying foods.
We should.
The
And we
crazy-
should
I
buy
think we
a
need
couple.
somebody.
and
I think we need somebody to eat it because I'm not gonna eat like really disgusting stuff. I'll probably.
I'll
throw
do
up.
it, man.
Good. I'm glad to know your garbage disposal.
Well, there
I'll
we go.
file that away for useful
Fuck.
Make sure to
information.
get some cow tongue, some eyeballs,
Bring it all in. I'll
That's
try
good.
anything
Rocky
once.
Mountain
Shit.
oysters.
I do fish eyes. Fish eyes, I think I've eaten before.
You guys had escargot?
No, I did have frog legs though.
I had escargot. That stuff is weird.
I eat squid.
I've had squid before. I've had squid before. Calamari's really, really good.
Yeah.
And crawdads. Crawdads are pretty useless. Those aren't really weird food. That's just southern food.
If we do this disgusting food show, we have to have Eddie as a guest because he's very particular on his food. He's one of those guys that's like, hold all the veggies on my burger. And you don't.
Are you straight up carnivore, Eddie?
Yeah.
You're
pretty
like,
much.
I don't want condiments. I just want the meat and the cheese on a fucking piece of bread.
He's like, no lettuce.
Well, lettuce is usually iceberg anyway, and that shit is terrible.
Yeah, it's non-nutritional.
It's just water
Garbage.
in the form of a leaf.
There you
That's
go.
really all it is.
But I could just see it be. It would be very interesting because even seeing Eddie like eat a tomato or something, he would freak out. So if it was like a
You're
cricket
kinda
or
mean.
something, why?
Like,
You're sitting here calling me a garbage disposal, so fuck
You
you.
know what? You know what?
but I'm not
Then-
making you
then-
eat shit, knowing
Well-
that you're gonna hate it.
Then there should be a show where Marcus is locked in this room with Goliath spiders.
I've actually thought about that. So there is a company we hooked up with last year. We met them, and I'm gonna try and get them to come on the show, and we should do
I'd like
like.
to see you in a room locked in with Goliath.
Well, guess
spiders
what?
and
They're gonna bring
tarantulas.
snakes too. So fuck you, motherfucker.
Bring me on.
Oh yeah, you hate
you
snakes.
chill with some Goliath spiders. I'll chill with some.
All right.
big
But
shit.
the company's name's Creature Encounters. Have you ever?
I know of them. I've
Okay.
never
They're
seen one
really
of their
cool
shows, but I
people.
know of
Really
them.
good.
Yeah,
they're-
they spiders and
I wanna see all of their
cockroaches and all their
spiders.
stuff. They bring them out to all these shows, and we've come across them a couple times. But I'm gonna try and get them in here, and we should do a show on like creepy,
Creepy crawlies and creepy
yeah,
animals.
like you know
yeah.
anything from like, cause you got all those movies like Placid, you got Arachnophobia, you got. What's that one with the snake? Anaconda.
Anaconda.
Snakes on a plane.
Oh god, that one.
Or
It-
Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Is that a movie?
A horrible sci-fi
Oh
channel
god,
movie.
the Sci-Fi Channel is the worst.
Shark
They-
topless and
Oh, three-headed shark, Sharknado.
Do the sharks have laser beams attached to their head? Because I have one simple request, and that's to have sharks with freaking laser beams
What movie
attached
is that
to their
from?
head.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Okay, I was gonna say I know this is from something.
That's one of the best lines of the whole movie. And then right after that, he's like, "Now, evidently, my cycloptic colleague." Yeah.
Have you seen a haunted house, one or two?
Those were like the scary movie type.
Yeah, it's by the Wayne brothers.
You
I
have to
haven't-
watch number 2.
I've seen some of the scary movies, but I haven't seen the haunted house ones.
Watch
but the
number
Wayne
2.
brothers are amazing. I
Sure.
remember the Wayne
Oh,
brothers
he
way back
goes
in
all
Living
the
Color.
way in number.
Oh, I just mentioned it because there's a romance scene in that movie.
There-
Haunted House too, that's
I
pretty
do remember
hilarious.
Scary Movie where he like is having sex with the ghost chick or whatever, and he puts the bag over her face or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and
he's like,
she's
"Just
really
leave that
ugly."
on, leave that
He's
on.
like, leave that on.
Let's just say one of the Wayne brothers gets very comfortable with Annabelle.
Yes, very comfortable. Annabelle.
Gross.
It's an excellent scene.
There's a lot of those scenes there's another one in another scary movie where like the one chick's getting raped. Well, not raped, but like the ghost is trying to get like oral sex from her.
She's like, Kinky's my middle name.
No,
motherfucker."
it's the part where he's like looking at her underwear and it says like Tuesday on it, and
Yeah, and
he
then he,
looks
like,
at the
starts
calendar and
screwing
it's
her on the-
Saturday.
Tori Spelling in that?
No, it was the other. It was what the hell's her
Goody
name?
Good girl from
No, it was-
Beverly Hills.
No, it was I thought it was the chick that was she's actually a blonde. She was in the movie House Bunny, and she's a blonde, and then she's like the main character of all the scary movies.
must
I don't
be thinking
remember-
of different
No. It's not her getting raped in that scene.
Well, she's not really getting
Well,
raped because she enjoyed it. but-
Unwillingly sexual enjoyment because she wasn't willing at first, and then she was like, "Oh, I like this."
Yeah, I guess technically it would be rape. I don't know. Just that the ghost is trying to defile her, and he looks at her underwear, and it says Monday.
Yeah, and then he
it's
pulls
actually
and her
Friday.
toenails are all like hideous.
Yeah.
I like the redhead from Scary Movie 2.
I don't remember that one.
This guy does. The guy's in the wheelchair, and she's trying to get the keys from him. You don't remember that scene?
He's like, I can do it
yeah.
myself.
Oh yeah,
like,
okay. Where he's like, I can toss my own salad. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Now I know.
Is this what we're ending with, like sex scenes
Apparently,
in horror
it
movies?
works because it's Valentine's Day. What do people do on Valentine's
Yeah.
Day? They boink. Like, let's be
So
real.
hang on, what is 9 months from February 14th? That would be
It's November, isn't it? Because that's 11. Yeah.
so. If you're
Yeah.
a November baby, you were probably conceived right around
Right around Valentine's Day.
That's an interesting.
That's
thought.
actually why a lot of people are born in November.
November?
Is because of Valentine's Day, or like October is because of New Year's. Like October or September is because of New Year's. Isn't it funny how
But so like I can see the Valentine's Day like passionate love. New Year's, you're just the mistake baby, man. They were just too trash.
Are you
one
saying
night
that people who are in dedicated relationships don't have passionate love on New Year's? They just get drunk and have
That's
sex?
what I exactly. Well, who knows where these babies are coming from? It could be from.
Who?
No.
Wait. Think about what you just said. Who knows where these babies are coming from?
Well,
We
yeah. So
obviously know,
maybe
Marcus.
maybe the wife's out there fucking around on Valentine's.
And then
or
spring babies, like I'm a spring baby. Are you a spring baby? When is your
April 18th.
You're a spring baby. Are you a spring
July
baby?
2nd.
You're a summer baby. So we're spring babies because long winter nights.
That's what one of my coworkers told me.
It's true, man.
She's like, those winter storms got your parents
Yep.
getting very
Yep.
feisty, and I'm like, oh god.
Nope, it's because it was fucking cold in the bed. You get all snuggly cuddly with your Mr. and Mrs. and things start to happen when you're cuddling in the cold.
Were there any really awkward sex scenes in any horror movies that made you guys just go like, what the hell am I watching?
Every single one of them.
Really?
But I'm going to go back to the Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave.
I
simply
didn't
because those
say
girls
rape
got-
scenes. I said
raped.
sex.
That's still sex, isn't it?
Contracted has a messed up one.
Oh god. Have you seen Contracted?
Or
No.
Dead Girl. Dead Girl is another
Isn't
messed
Dead
up-
Girl when aren't they necrophiliacs in that movie?
Doing
The
They
two
find that
boys?
zombie girl in the basement.
Yeah, and they
use her
have
as a
sex with her
toy.
because they're virgins.
Yep.
Fucking weird shit, man.
Well, Contracted, she gets like a zombie virus.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't it an
STD.
STD? Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that too.
It's gross, man. You watch like the progression of her and
Do you know what's sad about that is that syphilis is actually like that. Syphilis, especially like back in the day, like
well, it's like an STD or what
syphilis
is
is
I know
syphilis
it's
is
an
an
STD.
STD, but yeah, like it deforms. So somebody who has syphilis, if they have a child, the child will actually be deformed. Like the Diary of Ellen Rimbauer or Rose Red from Stephen King. Ellen Rimbauer, that's why the daughter had like the deformed arm, is because the husband went off when they were traveling in Africa. He went off and like had sex with a bunch of African women, and then he had sex with her, and so she got syphilis, and then her daughter had a deformed arm because she got pregnant while she had syphilis.
Dude, STDs scare the hell out of me.
They are scary.
Like, you know, when we were all, well, you're single, but let's just talk when we were single, like, that was just like a fear of mine. Like, even when like dating people, I'd always think, man, should I take them to the doctor and get them like thoroughly checked for STDs?
You should just always practice the glove method, which
Yeah,
is
but even
you
then,
always glove before
even
you
then,
love.
you're not 100% guaranteed, man.
Well, then you should probably just not sleep with people.
Yeah, abstinence, totally. Like,
there's only two options. You either do it safely or you don't do it at all.
Yeah,
there's no in between. It's not like Seth Rogen says in Pineapple Express, I dipped a ball in. Like, no, it doesn't work that way.
but that stuff's horrible, man. That stuff scares the shit out of me. Like, just.
Do you know that people called, speaking of Valentine's Day is usually called V-Day, right? Or, VD for VD. I find that funny because back in the day, STDs were called venereal diseases, and you'd have to go to the VD clinic, which is the venereal disease clinic. So for all of you that say the words, or abbreviate with VD, I would encourage you not to, because what you're really saying is venereal disease, which is an STI or an STD or whatever in the hell.
Yeah, whatever they
now.
decide to call them now.
They keep changing the name.
I think it's actually STI now.
It is. It's an infection because not everything is classified as a disease.
So is HIV an STI or an STD?
They're all STIs now. Because they're not, so a disease has certain criteria that they classify it as. That's a totally different conversation for a different type of show.
A different show. I don't even know where we're going anymore. It's just, we're all over the place.
We are. I was going to say something else about
STDs?
Yeah, that was funny, and now I don't remember what it was.
Oh, man.
Damn it, because I got distracted.
Well, so tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so if you guys
is.
are not in a committed relationship and you're just going out there partying with the single life and hooking it up, please use protection. You don't want any of these STIs, STDs, or VDs.
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. So me and my homies, we call it the lick-a-lacka.
Lick? What the hell is that?
Because back in the day when we would talk about things, like me and my girlfriends, we would gauge guys based on like how trashy they were, how slutty they were, kind of like what guys do to girls. And some guys we'd be like, he's got the goddess of herpes, which is gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes and AIDS, and then I think, what was the other one? Oh, hepatitis too. That was another one. So we kind of just blurted all one. Well, one day I was saying it really fast, and I was like gonosyphilic or something, and it just stuck. So if you ever hear me say that person has the lick-a-lacka, you want to steer clear.
Steer clear from that. Lick-a-lacka alert. Oh.
I really hope Amber's listening because she's the one that we had this conversation. That's where it came from. So yeah, now that we've ended it on an awkward note, we should probably bring it back.
Well, so
right before we end.
STDs is an awkward note.
It is an awkward note. I even made it more awkward by calling it the lick-a-lacka.
So how do we bring it out of this awkward note to end our show?
Here's hoping that everyone has a non-bloody Valentine's Day.
That's
not what I meant. You took it there. I was trying to loop it back to the movies. You fucking perv.
I'm sorry.
Clearly, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, this whole Valentine's Day show is fucked.
No.
Feel bad for that guy.
Oh yeah, if you get a bloody Valentine. All right. Now that we
some men like that, they're called vampires. Just kidding.
The awkward silence now as I watch YouTube sit here.
I was gonna make a really bad joke, but I'm not going to.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe I'll post it on our Facebook page.
It'll go on Facebook. So.
All right. Well, we hope you guys have a very happy Valentine's Day. And hopefully nothing that we've discussed happens to you on the holiday.
We don't want you murdered. We don't want you catching STIs. We don't want...
Or VDs.
Or VDs or the lick-a-lacka.
None of that. Like, just be safe, sane, and...
Avoid mines. Avoid a mine shaft at all costs. Avoid Valentine's Day dances at all costs. Don't open boxes of chocolates that are dripping.
Well... Okay.
From My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I know. I was just, my mind went somewhere else. But anyway.
Yeah, as it always does.
Yes, it does. Avoid dogs, Shih Tzus. Especially if you have damn stuffed animals.
Avoid teddy bears on
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
I mean,
Avoid motel rooms.
you know
'cause
what?
you're gonna
Avoid
have to-
Valentine's
just
Day.
Avoid it. Just stay at home.
Just stay home, watch movies, and be safe.
Wait until Monday and get your discount chocolate.
There you go. Do it Valentine's Day a day after. Everything's cheaper anyways. So
Are you saying goodbye, or am I saying goodbye?
well, I think we can all say goodbye. I just don't have anything else to say. So I am Marcus.
I'm Mary Mortem. Join us next week because we're going to talk about the witch and witchcraft. It will be a great show. Thank you for joining us, Eddie.
Yep. It's always great to be here.
And everyone out there, be sure to keep it spooky.
We'll see you later.
See ya.